Appreciate all the support also. And I want to tell you the number one thing that I learned from you, Curtis, today is pressing number one. I love it.
That was worth the price of admission.
That's right. That's right. Okay, are we good to get going, get started?
Yep, go right ahead. Take it away.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to this great Icon panel. We got a lot of great top producers, and I think this company is a top producing company overall. I came from Century 21 for 21 years, and joined the EXP about a year and a half ago. And I came from a big team and everything else. I think it was the best decision I made. And I just opened up my first office a couple days ago, which is pretty cool. And here we are today. We got a panel. I'm the moderator, and I'm excited to get this panel going and hear what they got to say. So I'm just going to start off real quick. If you don't mind, everyone introducing yourself, where you're from, how long you've been in the business, etc. And then we'll go through our questions. So Carrie, take it on. Where are you from? How long you been in business, etc.
Hi, everyone. I am from Omaha, Nebraska, and I've been a realtor since 2003.
Awesome. And let me just get in here. Okay. And Shagnasi, did I say it right?
No, it's Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy, I'm sorry.
No worries. Everybody says it wrong. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I have been a realtor for 6 years.
Cool. And Ken, what about you?
Hey, Ken Verlick. I'm in Pennsylvania, Allentown area, just north of Philadelphia. Been in real estate 6 years, EXP for 3 years. Best move I ever made.
Cool. And I think I got every Stacy and Jim. You guys there? I see you guys somewhere.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, we started selling real estate back in 1997, and we've been with Keller Williams Remax, and then also a small independent broker. We've been with EXP though now since fall of 2018.
Cool. And I see our company is just growing. I started in the company, it was 10,000 agents about a year and a half ago. Now we're about 30,000 almost, and growing into many more countries. I'm just excited. So we're going to start off with the first question. I'm going to start off just in order. Carrie, what are you doing these days to get to lead generate? Where are your leads coming from, and what has worked best for you?
Can you repeat the question one more time? It broke up for me.
So I'm asking regarding lead generation. Where are you getting your leads from? What do you think is the most powerful and effective way to generate leads?
For me, I mean, my past sphere, of course, is the most important in treating them with value, but I actually go with leads through, I use a YLOPO service, so Facebook leads, and then I run different funnel platforms for leads into my CRM.
Awesome. And is it Stacy? What about you? Same question.
Al. So one thing for us, we've been in the business for 23 years, and what I found is a lot of us started before the internet was around, but I think the internet is absolutely excellent for your internet leads have a conversion ratio that's pretty low. So for us personally, with that many past clients, we focus a lot of ours on repeat and referral clients. So if we have a marketing budget and our conversion ratio is, we'd have a 60 or 70% conversion ratio on referral business. So a lot of our marketing is obviously spent towards that. I think for some of our newer agents, absolutely for the social media, we do a small platform for that. But yeah, Jim, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would say for lead gen, you've got to be intentional about your lead generation. You need to time block it out. People always ask me when they're first getting started, how much time should I spend on lead gen? And the answer to that is this: you should be spending as much time, all your time on lead generation until you have more business than you can handle. And once that happens, then you cut it down to about 2 hours per day. I recommend video reaching out to people, a minimum of 10 people a day out of your network, talking to them. And you got to connect with people. What we're finding nowadays is that people are connected, like we'll have 5,000 friends on Facebook, but we have very little connection. You could do that by using the FORD, the Ford, to ask them about their family, O, occupation, ask them about their occupation, R, recreation, and D, dreams. Ask those questions to really make a connection with people, and the business will come naturally from that. And you've got to treat your time blocked lead gen time as if you would $1 million listing. You can't put it away, and it's best to do it in the morning because, as we know, in the afternoon, that's when the proverbial crap hits the fan, and you'll put lead gen aside, and you can't.
And also to Al, yesterday, if anybody was in on Jay's class, which was absolutely awesome, he made a point that when the leader stops learning, they stop leading, and it really dawned on me because we work so much to get these internet leads. Like we pay money, we put time into it, but then once you have the lead, you actually, that's just the beginning. He was talking about if you don't come up with some sort of unique selling proposition, you've got to assume that that 5 other, if not more, people have reached out to them because they've been surfacing the internet. So that really stuck out to me because we spend so much time, so much money on getting the lead, but if we are not different, if we don't differentiate ourselves, we just blend into the crowd that's reaching out to them.
Great stuff. Very valuable. Thank you so much. Ken, if you want to add to what they said.
Yeah, well, a lot of them stole my answers, but it's very, very true. I mean, your time that you commit to lead generation needs to be the most. There's nothing more important than generating leads, not even closing business. And the first time I heard that, I thought, that's crazy. I mean, I got to focus on making money. But the fact is, there's nothing more important than lead generation. What I found that really helps me, especially these internet leads, I like to kill and eat. Most of my leads come from the internet, purchase leads organically, Facebook and stuff like that. They do convert at a very low level. And what keeps me motivated to keep going on is that I reward my activity. I break this down, and I know how many contacts I need to make, and I know how many times I need to reach out to make those contacts. For an example, if I need to contact 10 people, I know that I need to reach out 25 times. And if I reach out 25 times during my time block, I reward myself for it. That's a success. I don't reward myself on the closings. I don't reward myself on all the conversations because I cannot control the conversations. I cannot control who talks to me. I can control what I do and when I do it. So I time block and I reach out this many times, whether or not I have those conversations. It's a win, and I do it tomorrow. The key is consistency, and the numbers are the numbers are the numbers. They'll always work out, and just keep doing the activity and reward yourself for the activity. And those leads will convert for you. I guarantee it.
Very powerful. It's all about, we all talk about leads. I think everybody focuses on leads, but not focusing on the follow-up, in general in our real estate business. And sometimes we forget, speed to lead is great, but at the same time, you got to follow up on those leads instead of paying for all these lead gen systems or prospecting, whatever. The follow-up is just that much more powerful.
Internet leads convert on contacts 7 through 12. And if you're giving up on 3, you're not converting anybody. And that's when it was like, don't convert. They don't convert. No, they don't. They don't convert on one call or one text message. They convert on 7 through 12. So keep at it, keep a system, reward the activity.
100%. You said it right. 7 to 12 and sometimes 15 to 20. I always say, be a pest and become the best. If you're a pest, meaning you're just calling, following up all the time, the chance of you getting that, they're getting bombarded with so many realtors, so many people that, you're just a number. So it's just about getting them at the right time, the right place. And again, thank you so much, Ken, for that information.
If you don't mind, one last piece for these people here, because KV Core is so powerful with this. You can do, I hear people say, well, how can I follow up that many times? You can set up automated text messages that you can just click and send, click and send, click and send. And once they respond, then you get personal with them and go with what he was talking about with the Ford. But if you're just reaching out, they're not answering the phone. Shoot text messages. Make it fast. Move through the numbers.
That's it. That's what it comes down to. Thank you so much, Ken. Great information. And again, I'm going to say it right. Shaughnessy, right?
Yes, it's Shaughnessy.
There we go.
I
Perfect.
think I was hand selected for this panel because I am definitely the black sheep. I don't pay for leads, and I don't cold call, and realistically, I don't time block lead generation. I do it 24/7 using social media, very active on Facebook and Instagram. I do a ton of videos, and I think most of my success comes from following up, following up, following up. So following up can be as simple as commenting on a friend or past client's picture of their kid and remembering details. My sphere of influence is pretty well known. I am very branded. I drop off my kids at school in a branded vehicle. Everybody knows that Shaughnessy sells. And that consistency has gotten me business to the point of where I have so much coming in that I'm able to help my mentees get leads, and I don't have to lead generate very much.
So you are a driving, walking billboard, right? That's your lead gen system, right?
I don't think it's necessarily the billboard aspect. I noticed something when my kids were really young is we were driving around and we drove past a Dunkin' Donuts and they could not read, but they knew it was Dunkin' Donuts. And they're like, Mommy, Dunkin' Donuts. And for them to be so young, I realized that it's consistency. If they're seeing it over and over and over again, people are going to recognize it, and they're going to not even know where they recognize it from. So all of our social media branding, my vehicle, all of our signs, all of our print, everything that we do has a very consistent look and feel to it. So a lot of times right now, especially when I have new listings, I share them in Facebook groups for the local moms. So for whatever school district the home happens to be in, I'll find that mom's group and I'll share it. So it's just consistency of seeing the repeated brand.
Consistent, persistent, and I've always said, it's like McDonald's. They have the same logo, the same emblem, same everything, and you can always know that that's a McDonald's, for example. And that's what you're talking about. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of consistency. It's not just doing it one time. Like going to the gym one time or two times is not going to work. Prospecting once or twice is not going to work. It's doing it all the time. Becoming a habit is what it comes down to. Very powerful stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Jim, So Jim, what is your lead generating system, and what do you think works best for you?
One thing that nobody's mentioned, but let's just talk a little bit old school about open houses. A lot of people I hear say open houses don't work. They absolutely do work if you do them effectively. And if you have your unique selling proposition, like what it is that sets you apart from other agents. For example, everybody here is an EXP agent. For getting listings, you can use the Express Offers program in your area. That's something that's exclusive to you as an EXP agent. If you're looking for buyers when they come in, maybe you're working with a program like Homes for Heroes or something like that. Having a unique selling proposition that is of value to them to capture them as a lead, it's a great source. And I learned a trick the other day, an old school trick about putting up a ton of signs in the neighborhood. And I thought that was ridiculous, right? Because everybody uses GPS nowadays. But here was the idea. If you put up 15 to 20 signs, if it's allowed, of course, in the neighborhood, and you put them up on a Friday night and leave them open until Sunday, what are those people that are living in that neighborhood? What are they doing all weekend long, right? They're driving around doing chores and things like that, right? They're taking the kids to soccer and stuff like that. You're literally subliminally putting your face, your name, and your stuff in front of those people as they drive in and out of there all weekend until you have your open house, and people in the neighborhood are your potential sellers. So old school open houses, we get a ton of business off of it from doing them effectively.
So how many signs do you put for an open house, and where do you put them before your open house?
Before I learned this tactic at EXPCon in the fall, we used to put out one sign right there, because we're like, everybody's going to use the computer to get there. So now we put out as many as we can. And yes, we have our mug shots on there because human beings respond to faces. As babies, it's one of the first things we learn to respond to. So you absolutely want to put your face on there. And so when people show up, you're not a stranger to them anymore. They're a stranger to you, but you're not a stranger to them because they've already seen your face everywhere in the neighborhood. So you literally want to put it at every single intersection in the neighborhood, right? Because as people are driving in and out of there, you want them seeing your face as many times as you can. And then obviously all the way out to the busy street out there. So you'll have 15 to 20 of them sometimes.
We put out 50 to 75.
Can I interject and just follow up on something about people want to see your face? You're in front of the camera and on social media. So they already built that trust with you, and the wall is completely down by the time they meet you or call you.
Yeah, so Ken said like 50 to 75. I mean, obviously, when I was doing open houses, when I do open houses, I'm about 30 signs in every corner in every area. I make sure I put a balloon to every sign. There's an arrow. I mean, I want to make sure that you go left, you go right, you go up and down. You're not going to run away from Al. That's just the way it's got to be. And unfortunately, a lot of people do put, one or two signs, and it's just not enough, unfortunately. So yeah, more signs, more exposure. And here's the thing: we pay thousands of dollars for billboards. You can put a few signs or 20, 30 signs for an open house. That's better than any billboard, especially like, Jim was saying, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, put it up Friday, open house, Sunday, 10 to 2, whatever the time you're putting it is, as long as the city and ordinances allow it. But yeah, that's a great way to get exposure. But, Shaughnessy, Ken, and, Carrie and Stacy and Jim, we all have a different way of doing lead gen, but at the end of the day, it's about doing a little bit of everything and do whatever works best for you and that you're really, really good at and being consistent with it. Okay, anything else to add before? Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Al, real fast, just in case, I hope people picked up on what Shaughnessy was talking about, because I know we have a lot of newer agents. Like, our platform was built for the millennials.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody caught or if they caught the fact she said she doesn't spend any money on marketing. That is huge, because not only is EXP the perfect vehicle for millennials and the being transient in the world. I guess that's not the right word, but you guys know what I mean. But that's huge. Like, we get a lot of newer agents that are really worried about not having the budget to start the marketing that they think that they need, and that was just a really strong fact that I think we should bring to the forefront.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful. Like, I got into social media, Shaughnessy, about in 2009, and I realized, wow, free marketing to thousands and millions of people if you know how to use it right. So 100%. Like, I'm an old school prospector, expires, for sale by owners and whatnot. I pay for one system, which is Vulcan 7, and that's what I pay for. Everything else I don't pay for. Everything else is organically, like Shaughnessy or like you guys are doing. Like, I do a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, social media, open houses don't cost you a penny. If you're going to pay money for leads, in my opinion, you better follow up 5,000 times, not 10 times, because you want the best return on your money. And if you don't follow up on those leads that you're paying for, there's other agents that are just waiting for you not to call them so they can get them. We on the same page, guys?
Absolutely.
Great stuff. Anything else before I go to the next question?
Can I just throw in one more thing?
Sure, absolutely.
So I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm clearly a millennial. I've grown up with social media. The one thing to do it right, and a lot of people who are just starting kind of miss this, broadcasting open house, open house, open house, buy my listing, price reduction. Nobody wants to see that. That's the quickest way to get an unfollow. So you have to figure out how to build your tribe and then speak to it. So I am not what I think the previous standard for realtor was. I'm covered in tattoos. I have a nose ring. I wear leggings and Ugg boots almost every single day. And then in the summer, it turns to leggings and flip-flops. And that's how I do business. I think that if you are just ashamed to be who you are, you're going to find people who want to actually work with you. And I end up being friends with the majority of my clients because like attracts like, right? So if you're just unashamed to be who you are and be your authentic self, you're going to attract the right people, and then they're going to have a great experience with you, and then they're going to turn out to be your raving fans. And those are the people that are going to send you 5, 6, 7, 8 deals a year. And those are the people that are going to get me to make them a birthday cake on their birthday.
Being authentic, Shaughnessy, being real, being transparent. And like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to fake it to make it, but most of the time, just be real, be yourself. And at the end of the day, you also have to be a great actor and a great athlete. And great actor meaning, you got to play the role of your client. You got to sometimes mirror, mimic them and be a chameleon. And sometimes you got to be yourself. So it just depends on the situation. But at the end of the day, if Shaughnessy wants to be Shaughnessy and be herself, and that's who she is, and if whoever doesn't like it or doesn't like her, then she shouldn't work with them and they shouldn't work with her and they should find somebody else. At the end of the day, I'm a true believer that we are professionals, we're human, we have families or whatever it is, and we have the right to be ourselves. And if we're not comfortable working with someone and they're not comfortable working with you, then find another client. I'm a big believer, and I don't know if you guys ever heard this before, but if you generate, you don't have to tolerate. So if you generate enough business through social media, through ad leads or whatever you're doing, prospecting, whatever it is, and you get enough business, you can pick and choose who you like and who you don't like and who you want to work with and you don't want to work with. If you don't generate enough and you don't hustle and you don't hunt, then you're forced to take anything and everything. And that's something that I don't like to do. So we're good, guys. Thank you. I love it. All right. So next question. And actually, we'll go back to Carrie. So Carrie, what are you doing to keep your clients? What are you doing in regards to client retention, repeat referral business? I mean, we all list and sell real estate, and then we close the deal. And I want to say probably 90% of us forget our clients after the closing, and they 95% of the sellers and buyers forget about us because out of sight, out of mind, we're not staying in touch. So what are you doing to make that connection continue?
It's going to be a long one. For me, I learned it a long time ago that my clients have to they pretty much become my friends, and I treat them that way, and I pour as much value into them as I possibly can. And then after we close, I utilize Facebook a lot. Everybody becomes my Facebook. I watch their kids grow up. I comment. I make sure I comment on everything that they're doing. If I can add value to their lives or help them in anything like a vendor or anything, I will do that. I make sure that I have a program. I did believe in Buffini, but I don't have the time, honestly, to sit there and do 5 cards a day. So I broke it out that I do cards to all of my database and Sphere twice a year. And then I have 2 client parties twice a year, and I make them extremely memorable, like photo op type of opportunities that they love it so much that they're sharing them on Facebook to other people. And then I break it down to my top clients, I grade them, and then I invite them to private dinners at my own house. I have hired private chefs to make our dinners, to make those nights even more memorable to my A's. And I do them in smaller increments of people, say 6 at a time. And then of course, even my top A's, I mean, we're much closer than that. So we will actually spend time together, or because they have become my friends. So I do have a program to it. I do have a method to it. And I do attract the people that are like me. So it does make my life a lot easier to hang out with these people.
That's great information. And it's obviously it's all about repeat referral business, because it's they get comfortable dealing with you, and why not keep getting business? That's the seed to the plant that you want to keep growing, of course. So great information, Carrie. And we're going to go back to Stacy and Jim. Same question. What are you doing to keep your business, keep your clients, keep coming to you?
I'll start. I'm going to let Jim wrap up with our social media part. But one of the things that I enjoy doing to feed off of Carrie a little bit is we do in-person stuff. And to keep in mind, one of the things we do is we're from Ohio State, OH. I know there's some IOs out there. So Michigan and the Ohio State game is a huge rivalry. So we rent out a sports bar each year. We invite all of our clients. We tell them they can bring family, friends, potential clients. And I was actually listening to the Icon panel before, and he mentioned something like this where you rent out, he referenced a theater where you pay for all of these theater, but only half the people show up. Here's the point of the party. Even though the day of is absolutely fun, it's packed, we take over the sports bar, it's just the fact that you can touch all of your past clients, and you're offering them this amazing opportunity, even if they can't come. So, and one thing that we're going to actually incorporate this year is a golf outing. So they can come golf for free, but we're going to pick a charity that the day of events, the beer events, the golf outings, all the fun stuff. So I think that goes a long way, and not just the day of, but actually just the invites themselves, because we start marketing this about 3 months in advance. So all of our clients are getting this invite, hey, come join us, can't wait to see you. And the interaction back and forth is excellent, even if only like a third of them show up.
So
I think I would.
Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I would add to that, as far as the social media part goes, is we all got to switch to video. Sending people a text or a Facebook message on their birthday just isn't enough anymore. They're getting 300-400 of those. But if you just pull your phone out and you make a video and you talk to people and start building the connection, that's what I've been pounded into by our coach, the connection. You're connected to people, but there's no connection. And so if you can find out about people, about their family, what they do for a living, what they do for fun, where they want to be in 5 years, that's that FORD, you know more about them than 98% of their friends. And when they're connected to you and you actually have connection, it becomes very simple to ask for an introduction. I would tell everybody out there to drop the word referral. Referral is too salesy. Get it out of your vocabulary. You're just asking people that you have a connection with to make an introduction to you, to somebody they might know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the next 6 months. And we were taught as kids that it's rude not to introduce people, right? So we've been brainwashed that two friends, when you're there and you have two friends, making an introduction is the polite thing. That's what I would add to that.
Can I make a quick script that everybody can duplicate, replicate, and rip off?
Absolutely. I would love to hear some role play, some ideas of how you would handle that phone call, how would you handle that follow-up call, maybe before or after closing.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, it's Shaughnessy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I need your help. I need more business. Can you refer me to somebody who needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Shaughnessy, I really can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but yeah, if I remember, if I think of somebody, I can definitely let you know or let them know.
Awesome. I know I put you on the spot, but I really could use your help. I'm going to call you next week. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You did a great job for us, Shaughnessy, so I would definitely love to help you out with your business. How's things going? Things are going good?
Everything's wonderful. Just, I would like to help more families just like I helped you.
Well, I'm excited to help you. You've been awesome. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Say hello to the family.
You too. Have a good one.
You too.
People are not used to being asked for help. They really aren't. And especially if you're like a person like me that's a fixer and the one that's always helping, they're really caught off guard, and they're actually going to think about it because they're going to be like, oh my God, Shaughnessy needs help. Let me help her.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of asking for help. That's my favorite question. Hey, I need your help. And sometimes they think like you need money or something, you know what I'm saying? But you're really asking for help, and most people that are happy with you are more than happy to help you. At the end of the day, when you're asking for help, you're asking for referrals and asking to grow your business. And if they were happy with you during your process, there's no reason why they shouldn't help you or they can't help you.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I see in the chat box, that somebody is asking, how does the next follow-up conversation go? Almost, I never make it to a week to call them back because they usually call me and say, you know what, I sat down and I thought about it, and my cousin Joe Schmo is looking to buy a house, or my cousin is pregnant. Give them a call. They probably need to sell.
I have a really good script for the follow-up or after they say no. And it really goes kind of like this. I'm like, you know what? I want to thank you so much for taking the time to think about it. You know what's going to happen is over the next couple of days, someone's going to pop into your mind because I've really activated your memory there. Here's what I want you to do. When you think of somebody that might need my help, I want you to pick up your phone and send me a text, and we'll figure out the best way for you to introduce me to them. How about that? What that does is that allows them not to pre-qualify somebody. They're not sure. Have you ever had them like, well, I'll give them your number or I'll tell them about you. they call you first for the comfort zone, and then you can walk them through how to introduce you with maybe a group text message, a group Facebook message, or something like that. So it gives them the out to where they're not nervous about going to their friend or giving you their friend's information, and without permission, they come to you. It works really, really well.
That's great information. Appreciate that, Ken. Carrie, did I ask you the same question yet? Did we already go over that?
Hey, real fast, Al, we turned really hollow on us. People are having a hard time hearing you.
Al, you there?
Hey, Carrie, I think he was calling on you. You want to jump in on that?
No,
for the
yeah,
client
sorry. Can you
retention?
guys hear me now? I had to switch back to my headset. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
We got you. You sound much better.
All right, perfect. So Carrie was the same question. Did I ask you the question already, Carrie, about retention? How you keeping your clients?
Well, not you didn't ask me. Well, I think you did, but I mean, to me, like I said, I thought I explained that what I do. I actually, email them, Facebook them, parties, letters, all kinds of things like that. Same as most everybody else that said something on the panel.
The key is systems. Having your CRM set up to remind you of their birthdays, so you can make that touch, or remind them, of events that are happening in their life, their home anniversary and stuff like that, and making the effort to reach out to them. Video text is awesome. That suggestion is probably the best one in this segment, because people aren't answering the phone and they're getting a million text messages. So make it different. Do a video text. And do this. Just try video texting your sphere and tell them that you appreciate them for no reason at all. Just send them a thank you. Just thanks you for being you, and wait to see the response you get from that.
Yep, 100%. I think it's a combination of many things. I just want to make sure I did ask all of you guys that question. So are we good to go on to the next question?
Yeah, I think
Yep,
so.
we're good.
Okay, cool. So in regards to building a sphere, some of it could have been answered in some of the other questions that we already asked, but in regards to building a sphere, social media, building yourself as a market influencer or market expert to your local sphere. So what are you guys doing? I'm going to start off from right to left this time. Jim, what are you doing to build your sphere in social media and building yourself as a brand, etc.?
Everybody who's out there, if you haven't heard of this guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, just you can Google Gary V and find him. He is the absolute best to teach you how to build social media by providing value to people. And the value is in the content that you produce. He's convinced me over time that you've got to get into video, doing more and more video content, also having a podcast, and obviously using Facebook as a business tool. The reason that is a lot of times some people just want to have Facebook. You just want to have your family and friends on there. He said you need to get over it. You need to go and you need to use it. It's the biggest networking tool in the world. You need to use it for that. And if you get to 5,000 friends, Facebook actually lets you turn into a public person. You get to turn it into a page, and you can actually import those 5,000 family friends in, and then you can go above 5,000 and you can run ads against that. And the ads are really cheap. You can run, especially when you're running them just to people who like your page. I also found it's really great if you interview local businesses. You go out and you interview them and you cross-edify each other. You talk about how great their business is. They talk about how great you are. And then each of you post each other's stuff on the pages, so that, like, it's a restaurant that you talk about that you love. If they post on their page your interview, where you have some type of unique selling proposition thrown in there with it, some type of offer that you're making, maybe it's the express offers or whatever you have that you're offering in your area, it's a great way to be exposed to all of their connections. And a lot of times you'll find a restaurant has 20,000 followers, right? And so now you're on there on their page and they're on your page. So it's a great way to build content. I learned that from Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I would go to restaurants, and if I had a great experience, I would just go live on social media, and I'm a selfie stick guy, so I've always got my selfie stick with me everywhere I go. And I just, ask the manager owner, just kind of give them some great information about their restaurant or whatever business you're going to. So yeah, like you said, promoting their business, they'll promote you on their page, and then all you gotta do is tag them. And if you are 5,000 followers, make a business page. That way it's unlimited over there. So a little bit about it, a little bit of everything, if that makes sense. Great information. So where are we at here? I'm gonna ask Carrie, what are you doing for building a sphere of social media, building yourself, bringing that brand out to the general public out there?
I guess I'm gonna have to say, like, for me, I'm not that super techie on building a brand about doing all that social media or videos, and not that I don't want to, but I don't feel like I have the time myself to invest that kind of time to learn it and do it. So what I have done, and just going to be really honest, is I lead generate by perfecting as a high level lead as possible as I can instead of low level, meaning I don't just take leads that don't have phone numbers. I have artificial chat bots. I have re-engagement through Facebook. So every single solitary lead that I have comes in at a very high level. And I'm going to be really honest, I'm a single agent. I sell 50 to 60 homes a year, and it's about all I can do as a person. So if you ask me, I generate probably 500 to 600 leads a month. I have way too many. So I don't necessarily have to do all of that because I can kind of pick and choose who I want to work with. So I'm just being honest about that.
Yeah, not everybody is going to be, it's about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and, not everybody is going to be social media friendly or happy or comfortable with it. And not everybody is going to be, willing to do prospecting and some of the other stuff. At the end of the day, you got to do what works for you. And this day and age, unfortunately or fortunately, it just seems like you almost got to do everything, and that's just 23 years in the business I've been, I'm not used to doing everything. So great information. Stacy, what is your thoughts on the same question in regards to building a sphere of social media, building yourself as a market influencer or market expert to your local sphere?
Well, one thing, Jim really focuses on our lead generation, both for attracting agents and also internet leads. But one thing I like to focus on is like we've talked about before, our past clients. So also building yourself as an expert on something. There's riches and niches. So one thing that Jim and I have really been drawn to is Homes for Heroes. When you can really your Facebook marketing and dial it down to a very specific group and a very specific message, your return is going to be much better. And then when that internet lead does come in, it's a warm lead, meaning they know that you're helping firefighters or a police officer, you know what area they're from. So it just really helps starting. So my advice would be, if you're just getting started and you're trying to build that sphere and trying to be an expert, don't try to be the expert of everything. It's just not going to happen. And you're going to, what is it, master of none, jack of all, whatever that, the jack of all trades, master of none. So pick something, stick to it. Once they see you, it's just like when you're following up with internet leads, they need to see you a lot on the same subject before they trust you and want to reach out to you as a cold lead.
Excellent stuff, for sure. Shaughnessy, same question, building a sphere of social media, building yourself as a market influencer or market expert to your local sphere. I'm sure you can answer this question, right, Shaughnessy?
Probably talk all day. I do weird things like run around in dinosaur costumes and other strange, funny videos. We did one for Halloween that was a spoof of a cult classic, Hocus Pocus. So my mom, who also sells real estate on our team with us, and some of our other teammates all dressed up as characters from the movie and pretended that those witches were going to sell real estate. And I got thousands and thousands of views, and it didn't sell a single house, but it got me out there kind of in a viral way to just constantly remind people that I sell real estate.
Yeah, being different, that's for sure. Doing something different than everybody else is doing. I'm a big fan of being the spotlight. That's just me. So Shaughnessy, if you're doing something like that, obviously you can open up some eyes, especially the social media followers, for sure. That's being different.
Yeah. People have to remember that people get, especially people that work in 9 to 5 jobs or people that are not in sales, they get on social media not for the same reasons that we do. So they want to be spoken to in a certain way, and it's definitely not to have sales pushed down their throat. They want to relax, they want to enjoy, they want to laugh, they want to, that's part of the reason why like cat videos are the most popular thing on the internet. It's mindless, it's fun, it's engageable. People want content like that. So if you are constantly just pushing whatever house you have for sale, or, oh, I'm a realtor, send me business, it gets boring and people don't like that. You need to just be yourself and be engaging.
Yeah, you got to be mixed. You got to mix it up. A little family, a little fun, a little real estate, and a little valuable information. It can't be just, I've always rotated and switched it up. I'm a professional drummer also, and I always like to, when I'm at a party or a concert or whatever it is, I like to go live on social media to show, look, I'm a real dude. I'm not just a realtor. And at the end of the day, guys, it's all about being transparent and natural. And people, like Brent Gove says, don't recruit agents, attract them. Let people come to you instead of you going to them. Let people call you instead of you calling them. That's the way to go. And obviously, that's worked well for you. Did I ask the same question to everybody? So I'm sorry if I did not. So I'm just kind of bouncing around here, going left to right, right to left, just to mix it up. If that's okay. Did I ask everybody the same question? Are we good to move on?
I'm still here. I didn't.
Ken, okay, perfect. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, just making sure.
That's fine. Here's what I'm going to do. We're getting kind of running out of time, but this is kind of nice segue. Our 5 things were lead generation, client retention, building a sphere, affiliated partners, and contract to close strategies. We haven't quite got to all of them yet, but I'm going to pull it together 2, 3, and 4: client retention, building a sphere, and affiliated partners. Because what I do, my background is I've been an entrepreneur all my life, 27 years. And I have 17 years in construction before real estate. So my sphere is business owners and contractors. And really what I do is one of my calls to my past clients is, hey, I'm really trying to build my list. Who do you know that I need to know? See, I'm not reaching out to them asking them the same question, because you got to touch them 3 or 4 times a year. And when I call them and say, who do you know that I need to know? I'm trying to build my list. They'll give me somebody. I call that person and say, hey, so-and-so refer me to you. I just want to know, are you open to me referring you business? Everybody says, well, yeah, I'm absolutely. Okay, great. Tell me a little bit more about what you do, and I'll look for somebody. When I think of somebody, I'll send them your way. And then they tell me everything about themselves. People love talking about themselves. And at the end, I go, hey, listen. Thank you so much. I'll look for somebody to send your way. I got a question for you though. If a good friend or a family member comes to you right now and asks you to refer a realtor, who do you recommend? I know it's not me, and that's okay. And he lets them off the hook, and they usually go, oh, I don't know. Great. What do I got to do to be that person? And they usually go, but you've done more than most people anyway. I'm like, awesome. Tell you what, I'm really going to look for somebody to refer to you. And if you think of somebody that might need my help, please introduce me to them. And the conversation goes great. And then I focus that week. If I get 2 or 3 contractors to my list, I go out, and now I reach out to my sphere and I go, hey, listen, I just met a plumber and he's really looking for some people in the Nazareth area. Do you know anybody that might need a plumber? And now my conversation is open. I'm coming from contribution with everybody, and I'm not salesy, and everybody's having a conversation, and we're all kind of talking about real estate. And it builds my client retention, it builds my sphere, and it builds my affiliate partners list. And it works really well.
Perfectly said. At the end of the day, it's about talking to the clients and the people like you're talking to your family and your friends. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the business want to go too formal and too professional, and they forget that we're humans. Talk to them like your friends. Great information. Okay. So affiliated partners, how do you utilize them and build working relationships? Carrie, why don't we start with you on that?
Do you mind repeating that? Affiliated partners, like
Yeah, so like affiliated partners, how to utilize them and build working relationships. Oops, sorry, I didn't press the mic thing. So affiliated partners, how to utilize them and build working relationships.
well, I mean, I would say honestly, thank goodness I've been doing this for a while because I wasn't very good at that in the beginning at all. Um, I would say over time, I have learned that I should do my homework, and then I work with people that hold up to the same levels and standards that I do, and then they treat my clients the way I want them to treat me, or treat them. Um, and when I do that, I have developed very close relationships with these people, and I treat them with very strong referrals and let them know that they are important in my world. I do have some affiliates that help pay for some of my lead generation, but I actually, in return, know all of their math and know what it is they need from me to help grow their business. And I'm very consciously aware of that. And I work very hard to help them grow their business in return. But otherwise, vendors like plumbers and things like that, if that's what you're referring to, I do stay in contact with them. They're friends again. And until they don't treat me with the same respect, then of course I have to move on. But otherwise, I pretty much try to befriend everybody and try to help add value to their lives and help them grow their business the same way they would grow mine.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carrie. Stacy, same question. Affiliated partners, how to utilize them and build working relationships. So Stacy, I think, has got like a thing over. Stacy, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. I was in the chat box, so my one was typing across there in the chat box.
I'm doing that too.
I'm talking away, and I got a million ones in there. One of the big pieces of advice we got when we first got into business, especially for our younger agents, find affiliate partners that are on the same, I don't want to say, maybe mentality is not the right word, but like, especially like millennials. We have Candace Neff. She is absolutely one of our star people sitting here in the front row. She has been in the business just over a year. And what she did was she made partnerships and aligned herself with brand new millennials getting in and doing, they were the Facebook marketing, the Instagram marketing, her lenders, her title company, and you will grow with your partners. You really, really will. Our title company that we started using actually got in the same time. And then one thing too is going back to social media. A great example is we just had Sean Kokoska do a regional event for us. Your sphere will only go so far, and your marketing dollar will only go to your sphere of the people that they know. So when you have an event, if you're going to do a home buying seminar, which is a great one to do with a title company and a loan officer, have them take your marketing pieces and send it out to their sphere. So they need to be plugging you as much as you're plugging them. Always remember that you are their client. You have your clients, but you're you are their client. So they need to bring you value and help you reach that spider web out.
Excellent. Just because of time, of course, guys, we're just going to try to keep it a little bit shorter so we don't. So we're able to finish on time. And I want to thank everybody that's watching us here. We got 328 people. Thank you so much. Ken, did you already answer number 4, Ken, or you want to add on to that?
I kind of did, but there's a question in the chat box. How do you know your contract or affiliates will do good work? The best way to do that is to reach out to your sphere. Really, I don't recommend anybody that hasn't done work for me or one of my clients. So it's a great touch to your clients. Pull up your client list and call them up and say, listen, I'm looking for an electrician. Do you know anybody? And it starts the conversation about real estate without going, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I can talk to in the next 3 months? Right? No one wants that conversation. He's like, hey, can you help me out? I like what Shaughnessy says. Can you help me out? I got somebody looking for an electrician. Who do you know? That's the best way to get affiliates. And then call that electrician and have the conversation with them.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a big fan of a name badge on my suits. Everything I have is name badge, and that name badge always triggers a conversation. Hey, how's the market? Always. Shaughnessy, you're next. So what are you doing with the affiliated partners? How do you utilize them and build working relationships?
So when I first started selling real estate, I didn't have any real affiliated partners. I had a couple of names thrown at me from older agents, and they just were not my vibe. For home inspectors, they were definitely deal killers. They were dinosaurs. It just didn't work for me. So, social media connected me to a lot of people. I am very, very, very surely on the same level of standards for anybody that I refer. If I wouldn't have them do work at my house or take care of my grandma, they are not taking care of my clients. So if I don't trust them with my children, then they're not getting my referrals. So you just have to be really careful, and sometimes it's really good to give somebody a chance, but if they don't perform at the level where your client is raving about what they did, then maybe they're not worth that second chance. I think of it as a reflection of myself. So if I wouldn't be happy to have my name on it, I'm not going to refer that person.
Yeah, my experience has always been, unfortunately, it's like every time I try to refer business to a painter, plumber, whatever it is, I expect business in return. If I'm giving you, you give, you get, but unfortunately, my experience is just you give them a painter and then they screw up the house or don't do the good job, then the buyer or seller's calling you back, yeah, that painter really screwed me up, blah, 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 blah. And, I'm kind of like, I'm almost done with trying to refer business out to these guys, because unfortunately there's just not too many old school hardworking contractors that we used to see back in time. Everybody wants to just make a quick buck and run. Jim, so why don't you add on to affiliated partners, how to utilize them and build working relationships?
I think the absolute importance that you talk reciprocal business with people. Look, if I'm going to feed you, you're going to feed me. And there's different ways in doing that. But write this down if you're out there taking notes. If you have a lender, you want to look for a lender who's using a thing called Big Purple Dot. Big Purple Dot, that's something we can do marketing for you. Or you can find one that's using Sales Boomerang and Surefire. That's where they're doing trigger leads based on different addresses that are out there. Find lenders that are doing that. They can help market for you. Also, they can help fund your marketing on your KV Core. Partner with them on that, on your splash pages and landing pages. You can connect your lender to KV Core so the leads go to them too, so they know where their dollars are being spent. On your title companies, make sure you're having them do your print stuff. Have them pick up some of your costs on that to help you with that. And also, I tell all my affiliated partners, look, keep your ear to the ground for me. If you know any agents that are thinking about switching brokers, I want you to introduce me to them so we can talk to them and show them what we have here at EXP.
I think the most important thing is tell people to call you instead of telling them to call you. So I always tell, the affiliated partners, if you hear of anyone looking to buy or sell, tell them about me, but more importantly, tell me about them, because they may forget to call me, but I will not forget to call them. So last question, great answers, thank you all. Last question, contract to close strategies. The importance of knowing each valuable step to still bring value to your client during the process and make sure it closes on time and is expected. Carrie, I'm going to start with you.
Hey, Al, I think we have to wrap. I'm watching the chat box there. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to skip that one. But I think if we all put our information in there, we'll be happy to answer questions, right, guys?
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely.
You're the boss.
For anybody.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Al.
You're very welcome,
Great
guys.
job, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Everybody, audience, real quick, round of applause. If you don't know how to clap, you can click the arrow next to your name and click clap, and you can clap.